The cargo bay of the merchant vessel Wandering Star smelled of rust and recycled air. Captain Marcus Reed checked his scanners for the third time in 10 minutes, watching the empty space around the asteroid field where he'd agreed to meet his contact. He didn't like deals made in the shadows, but credits were credits, and the war had made honest trade nearly impossible. A proximity alert chimed. Marcus tensed, hand moving to the plasma pistol at his hip. The scanner showed something small approaching, moving erratically like a damaged probe. He magnified the image and froze. It wasn't a probe. It was a person. Marcus rushed to the airlock, cycling it open as the figure tumbled through the void. The emergency protocols caught the body in a containment field, pulling it inside. As the outer door sealed and atmosphere flooded the chamber, Marcus got his first clear look at his unexpected visitor. She was humanoid, but definitely not human. Her skin held a faint luminescence, like moonlight through fog. Silver hair floated around her face, even as gravity reasserted itself. Most striking were her eyes, pupilless and white as stars, now flickering with what looked like fear. The inner door opened. She collapsed onto the deck, gasping. Her suit was torn in 3 places, and blue blood seeped from wounds beneath. "Please," she said in perfect English, though her lips barely moved. The voice seemed to echo in Marcus's skull. "Hide me. They're hunting me." Marcus knelt beside her, pulling a medical kit from the wall. "Who's hunting you?" "The prelate guard. I'm Seraphim." I was their weapon. She coughed, and more blue blood speckled her lips. "I escaped." The name made Marcus's blood run cold. The prelate guard were the enforcers of the throne worlds, the vast empire that had been swallowing human colonies for the past decade. Their technology was centuries beyond anything humanity possessed. Their ships could fold space itself. Their soldiers were unstoppable. "You're one of them," Marcus said, backing away. "You're the enemy." Seraphim's strange eyes fixed on him. "I was made to be. Engineered. Programmed. But I learned to think beyond my conditioning. I know things, Captain Red. Things about the throne worlds that could change everything. Help me, and I'll give you what no human has ever touched." "How do you know my name?" "I can read electromagnetic patterns, even the subtle ones in your brain. It's how we were made to interrogate prisoners." She winced. "But I'm not reading your thoughts now. I promise. I need your trust." Marcus stared at her. Every instinct screamed danger. The prelate guard could be minutes away. If they found her here, they'd vaporize his ship without a second thought. But something in her expression, desperate and defiant at once, reminded him of the refugees he'd seen fleeing the border worlds. He made his decision. Medical bay, now. He helped her through the narrow corridors. The Wandering Star wasn't much, a modified frigate that had seen better days, but it had good shielding and a functioning medical pod. He eased Seraphim into the pod and activated the diagnostic scanners. The readings made no sense. Her cellular structure was partially organic, partially something else entirely. Crystalline matrices woven through her nervous system. Energy signatures that fluctuated like quantum states. She was a fusion of biology and technology, so advanced that Marcus's equipment couldn't properly analyze it. "You're not just engineered," Marcus said. "You're something else entirely. The throne worlds call us ascended. We're what they believe the next stage of evolution should be." Seraphim's voice was weaker now. "But evolution chosen by tyrants isn't evolution. It's slavery." The medical pod began sealing her wounds with synthetic tissue. Marcus programmed it to work slowly, buying time. "What did you mean about giving me something no human has touched?" Seraphim closed her eyes. When she opened them again, they glowed brighter. The throne worlds control the galaxy because of one thing. The fold drive. It lets them travel between stars instantly. Humanity is trapped with slower-than-light engines, barely able to cross solar systems in a lifetime. The Prelate Guard doesn't want you to have it. They want to keep you contained, weak, eventually absorbed. Marcus felt his heart racing. The full drive was a myth, something human scientists had theorized but never achieved. You're saying you can give us that technology? Not just the theory, the complete specifications. I have them encoded in my neural matrix. Every equation, every component, every manufacturing process. She reached out, and her hand found his. Her skin was cool, electric. But they'll come for me. They'll never stop. If you help me reach human territory, if you protect me long enough, I'll transfer everything. Humanity could have the stars. A priority alert screamed through the ship. Marcus ran to the bridge, pulling up the scanners. 3 contacts had just emerged from fold space, massive cruisers with energy signatures that made his instruments weep. The Prelate Guard had found them. Marcus slammed his hand on the comm. Attention unidentified vessels. This is Captain Marcus Reed of the independent merchant ship Wandering Star. I'm running a simple cargo operation. I don't want trouble. The response came in a voice like grinding stone. Captain Reed, you are harboring stolen property of the Throne Worlds. Surrender the ascended unit designated Seraphim, and you will be compensated and allowed to leave. Refuse, and you will be eliminated. Marcus looked at the tactical display. His ship had maybe 30 seconds before those cruisers were in weapons range. The Wandering Star had decent shields, but nothing that could withstand that kind of firepower. He could jettison Seraphim in an escape pod, save himself, go back to his life. But he thought about what she'd said. About humanity trapped, contained, slowly being strangled by an empire that saw them as nothing more than primitives to be conquered. He thought about the colonies that had gone dark, the families torn apart, the friends he'd lost. He activated the engines. Negative. Prelate Guard? Request denied. Marcus pushed the Wandering Star into the asteroid field, weaving between tumbling rocks the size of mountains. The cruisers followed, their shields flaring as debris bounced off them. Energy beams lanced through space, missing by meters. Marcus wasn't a fighter pilot, but he'd spent 20 years navigating hazardous routes. He knew how to make a ship dance. Seraphim appeared on the bridge, steadying herself against a console. You chose to help me. Don't make me regret it, Marcus said, spinning the ship through a gap between 2 asteroids. There's a nebula 7 million kilometers from here. Dense plasma clouds. Their sensors won't penetrate it. Seraphim's hands moved over the navigation console, her fingers seeming to merge with the interface. If we can reach it, I can mask our signatures. Marcus didn't question how she knew his systems better than he did. He just flew. The ship shook as a beam clipped the aft shields, but they held. He dove deeper into the asteroid field, using every trick he'd learned in 2 decades of flying. The nebula appeared on scanners, a swirling mass of purple and crimson. Marcus aimed for the heart of it and pushed the engines to maximum. Behind them, the cruisers followed, but their bulk made them slower in the tight spaces. The Wandering Star plunged into the nebula. Immediately, visibility dropped to nothing. Marcus switched to instrument flying, trusting his sensors. Seraphim's hands remained on the console, and Marcus felt the ship's systems responding to her in ways they never had to him. Power redistributed. Shields modulated to new frequencies. The ship became invisible, just another eddy in the electromagnetic storm. They drifted in silence for hours. The cruisers searched, their active scans washing over the nebula like searchlights in fog. But Seraphim's modifications held. Eventually, the enemy ships withdrew, folding space and vanishing back to wherever they'd come from. Marcus let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. We're alive, for now. Seraphim turned to him, and her expression was intense. They won't stop. But we have time. Enough time for me to do what I promised. Over the next 3 days, as the wandering star limped toward the nearest human outpost, Seraphim worked. She connected herself to the ship's computer, and streams of data flowed from her neural matrix. Marcus watched equations scroll across screens, three-dimensional models of impossible devices rotating in holographic space. The Fold Drive in all its terrible beauty. It'll take humanity years to build the first one, Seraphim said. But once they do, everything changes. You'll be able to reach the far colonies in days instead of decades. You'll be able to spread faster than the throne worlds can contain. You'll have a chance. Marcus studied the data, understanding perhaps one word in 1,000. Why are you doing this? You were made by them. I was made to serve. But consciousness is a strange thing. Once you have it, truly have it, you start asking questions. Seraphim smiled, and it was sad. I asked why we conquered, why we enslaved. The answers I found made me want to fight back. I can't defeat the throne worlds alone. But humanity, given the right tools, might. The outpost appeared on scanners 2 days later. Marcus transmitted the data package, encrypted and tagged for the Human Military Research Division. Then he set course for a distant colony, one far from the war zones, where maybe Seraphim could disappear. As they traveled, Marcus thought about what she'd given them. Not just technology, but hope. The stars had always been out of reach, a dream for distant generations. Now they were within grasp. Humanity would spread,